Hi, everyone. Welcome back to our last advisory of the year. We've been talking about responsible decision making and healthy relationships with others and yourself. Before we begin, let's do this opening activity. Take a look at these questions. We know that this last advisory is coming at a time when stress levels are high. Maybe you have tests or college results, plans for summer or after graduation, work obligations, family obligations, or even things that are happening out in the world that feel out of control and scary. Today, we want to offer some tools, frameworks, and ideas to help us better hold our stress with curiosity and tenderness so it feels less overwhelming. So, our main question of today is when we are overwhelmed with stress, what can we do? I actually just asked a few students this the other day, and one of them gave me an answer I hadn't heard before. They said taking a long walk without using GPS. They said it helps them to really be mindful and use a different part of their brain while getting exercise, and that actually helps them to de stress. Please turn and talk to your partners about what is something you do when you're feeling overwhelmed. All right, so let's learn just a bit about our brains and stress. There are times when our nervous system is on high alert for danger, and even when we are safe, it's hard to calm down. We may feel overwhelmed, irritable, or on edge. This is because when our brains feel like there's a threat nearby, it triggers that part of ourselves that goes into fight, flight, or freeze. When we've been tipped over into our fight and flight response, that's our overwhelmed state. So, what can we do to help? We can do things to activate or reset the part of the brain that helps us to calm down. Activating our parasympathetic nervous system, the brakes part of our nervous system, helps our bodies calm down. It essentially undoes the fight or flight or freeze stress response. Activities like deep breathing, yoga, and walking help activate the parasympathetic nervous system and promote relaxation. So, to help us practice something quick and easy right now, I'm going to lead us through a 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 exercise that you can do. Nobody needs to know you're doing it ever on your own. Let's try it. Name 5 things you can see at this moment. You can do this silently. Okay. How about 4 things you can feel? It can be your clothing, the floor beneath your feet, the desk. Now, let's focus on 3 things we can hear. Maybe it's that buzz that's always in the background from the lights overhead or the AC unit, or someone talking outside, or pencil clicking, computers, clicking. Okay, two things you can smell. Focus hard on this one, and you will be able to smell two things that you may never have ever noticed before. Okay, one thing you can taste now in this moment. Can you taste something maybe from your breakfast or toothpaste, your own saliva, a pen that you may be chewing on? What do you think? This activity redirects our focus to our senses, which helps us reduce the intensity of stressful emotions. The more you do these calming practices can help us the next time we feel stressed. Another way to help soothe our stress response is to help us tackle the beliefs that keep us in a state of stress. One of the ways we can do that is this concept called locus of control. I want to share with you a quick activity to help decrease anxiety and increase the sense of safety and calm. I use this activity all the time in sessions, and you can feel a noticeable difference almost immediately. This activity is short and simple, but can really help decrease anxiety feelings because it helps you clarify what you can and can't act on. That's what worry is, right? It's thinking about a problem over and over again to see if there's a different solution or something you should be doing differently. This activity is all about understanding your locus of control. What do you really have control over? It's really simple, and you can use it in many situations. The important part is drawing it out on paper. Well, maybe that's not important, but it's helpful. There's just something about drawing that helps the brain clarify problems and clear up anxiety better than just thinking about them on your own. Okay, so what you're going to do is start by drawing two intersecting circles on a piece of paper. Write your problem or question at the top of the page. For example, let's say I'm working with a student who is supporting a friend in an unhealthy relationship. I might ask the student to, in one circle, label what's in their control, and on the other, label what's out of their control. The middle section, where the circles overlap, is their realm of influence, which we'll discuss a little further later. Let's start with what's out of their control. This student has a good friend who is in a relationship that has a lot of conflict and strife. Now, the student herself isn't in the relationship, but her friend is, and it's causing her stress. She's stressed because she wants her friend to be happy and has concerns about her friend's partner. And her friend wants to talk to her about the relationship until early in the morning. But she can't control her friend or whether her friend and the partner break up, whether they stay together, and what happens there. Now, what's in her control? Well, my student has control over whether or not she stays up late supporting her friend. The student has control over her boundaries, what she says in response, and whether or not she's even the right person to be playing this role for her friend. Now let's talk about the realm of influence. There are ways to influence others' actions potentially without controlling them. Some examples of influence include explaining, requesting, begging or pleading, and setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is a good one. For example, I want to support you, but it's probably best for both of us to go to bed now and think about this in the morning. These things may influence the outcome, but don't control it. When I work with students, I encourage them to consider stopping putting energy into trying to control the outcome and instead focus their energy on what is in their influence and what is in their control. Rather than focusing on changing their friend or trying to make them see that the relationship is toxic, they could focus on setting boundaries, what they say or do, and how they care for themselves. This is about putting effort where it belongs and not thinking you have control over the outcome necessarily. The friend could actually be modeling by taking care of themselves, which could influence their friend who's struggling to develop boundaries for herself. You can use this exercise for almost any stressful situation. Just take a moment to think, what is actually in my control what's out of my control, and what maybe is in my sphere of influence. This diagram is really about deciding where to put your energy and focus. All right, hope that was helpful. Now let's see some other student examples of recognizing things in their control and things outside of their control, and see what, if any, you can resonate with. So this is a resource and tool you can use to help ground you the next time you're feeling particularly overwhelmed. Okay, really quick here. We're going to take a moment for you to do the same now. Think of one thing you feel particularly stressed about. Now fill out the handout and name the things that are ultimately outside of your control. And now name the things that are in your control. Remember, there really are things that are outside of our control, and so it's hard, but letting it go is going to relieve a lot of stress. take a minute to read through what you wrote. Notice how it feels to see this written out. And now, share it with a partner. Finally, we do want to equip you with another tool to help manage stress as it comes up. So, before we head off to take our annual survey, here's one last grounding activity for us. Thanks, everyone. Before we head out, we do have a survey for you to fill out. We hope that you go through the end of this school year knowing that you have strengths and assets, and that you go into the summer and are able to enjoy. And we'll see you next year.